you by the 2018 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Beautiful night for baseball as the Rockies welcome in the Seattle Mariners to town. And in right field will be Carlos Gonzalez, closing in on 10 years of service time in the big leagues, and he is as hot as he has been all year. For more on number 5, we check in with our Taylor McGregor. Taylor?
Yeah, Drew, Carlos Gonzalez is earning every opportunity that he's getting in this lineup right now. Tonight, he will be hitting cleanup, and that is thanks to the way he played last weekend in Seattle. 5 for 12 with a home run, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, all to go with 4 runs. I was able to talk to Cargo about what's been clicking well for him lately.
I feel like I'm Larry Walker, you know. That's what I've been thinking and watching videos. So I think it's just more confidence, you know. Just going out there, and whenever I get the opportunity to play, I feel like the more I play, the better I get. So I think you know, it's the right time for me to, you know, get things going and help the club, and you know, have a really good, strong second half. I think it's going to be very important for this club. So you know, that's my mindset.
Larry Walker, Carlos Gonzalez, I mean, they're both great players, so whatever it takes. Look at his numbers in July: 11 for 34, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 10 runs scored. He's a huge reason the Rockies have soared so well in July. Drew?
He has been a big part of it, and he is poised, as he said, to have a big second half. But first things first, he wants to finish that first half strong. It's the Rockies, it's the Seattle Mariners. Come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Perfect night for baseball, a Friday evening in Lodo, and the Rockies are playing great ball. They've won 10 out of their last 13. It's an interleague matchup between Colorado and Seattle. The Rockies took 2 of 3 from the Mariners last weekend up in beautiful Seattle. The Mariners enjoying a great campaign, 58 wins, the second most they've ever had before the All-Star game. The time they were better was the last time they went to the playoffs, when they won 116 games. There's Jeff Hoffman. He'll have the baseball today. Again, making a spot start for Antonio Senzatella. He had a blister issue. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but there are the numbers for Jeff Hoffman, so it's not his first rodeo.
No, last year he had 16 games started. He was 6-5 with a 5.28 ERA, so he knows what he is up against here, pitching at Coors Field, done it a number of times. We know the arsenal: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. And talking to Steve Foster today about Jeff, he said they hope that he incorporates a few more curveballs tonight. So I think that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on, at least early on in this game, because he has a good one, the one that falls off the table, the 12-6 curveball. And I think it's imperative when you're going up against a club like the Mariners.
And he's going to go up against a good lineup, -1 big bat. Here's the Southwest batting order for Scott Service. D. Gordon, Gene Segura is now an All-Star. He won the All-Star Final 5 vote, and he deserved it. Mitch Haniger's an All-Star. Kyle Seager, Denard Span, Ryan Healy, Ben Gamble, Chris Herman, Christian Bergman. You say, whoa, 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 where's that other All-Star? 38-year-old Nelson Cruz. Well, he's a DH. And last year, as the first pitch misses to D. Gordon, he dealt with some calf injuries, and they're very reluctant in Scott Service to run him out there, especially in the vastness of Coors Field, and have him get hurt. He's just too important to them. So he's going to be relegated this weekend, in all likelihood, to a pinch hitting or 2 or 3 appearance.
Yeah, last year he only played 28 innings out in the field. This year, 0 innings in the field. So Scott Service thought about 10 seconds, he said, about playing him in the outfield, and then that thought went out the window.
This has got top spin, and DJ's not going to be able to get him, and then a collision between Desmond and Gordon as Desi tried to come off the bag. That's a play that he's going to get 85–90% of the players in baseball. D. Gordon, unfortunately, is in the other 10%. He just runs too well.
And it might even be higher than that, Drew. It might be 95% of the guys he gets. And DJ knows he has to get rid of it, and then the collision at first between Desi and D for DJ on the Subaru Supermo. And then watch the collision. Look at the left leg into the ribs, into the side of Ian. That's where really you start to worry about one of those obliques.
That is the 27th infield hit for D. Gordon, which leads, not surprisingly, Major League Baseball. And here is a very difficult out in Gene Segura. Gordon started to go. Pop throw now as he came back.
How about that from Tony, saying a pop throw after he sees the bluff that he's not going to throw to second base. He throws back behind him at first. When you mentioned about infield singles, it's 27, as you said. The guy at the plate, second, he has 22.
Well, that hit for D was his 100th of the season. Segura has 113 hits. When they first scouted, you know, all the folks that were looking at D. Gordon when he was coming up, the son of Flash Gordon, his speed is so off the charts that scouts would envision that he's going to be a guy that if he can just put it in play on the ground, he's going to hit for a pretty good average. And it's played out that way. Won a batting title. It's fouled off of Segura's foot.
D. Gordon is a quintessential old school type leadoff hitter.
He's a St. Louis Cardinal playing in Seattle.
Right. I mean, he could play with the Cardinals in the 80s. Ooh, another one right off the shin on the Subaru Supermo to the All-Star Gene Segura.
Just so tough for a pitcher. You feel like, man, I got to get 4 outs. You make a good pitch, you get a ball that's chopped into the ground on the right side, no less, and because he's so fast, you still don't get it out. Fastball's upstairs, 1 and 2.
This happened in Seattle last week when we were there, when D. Gordon reached in the first inning. Then he ended up being thrown out by Tony when he tried to steal.
That was one of the best transitions, glove to hand, we've seen this year. And then, you know, a perfect throw. It was a 186 pop time. Yeah, they're guys that can steal bases, and they're guys that their game is centered around it, like D. Gordon. And I think those kind of guys, especially with a young pitcher, Jeff's still a very young pitcher, it can be even more disruptive in terms of focus. 1-2 on Segura. Gordon takes off, and it's bounced toward that hole. It's going to sneak through, and it's going to be first and third. And that's not a hit and run. There's two strikes. Gene Segura just handles the bat very well. He's a tough guy to strike out.
When he chokes up on the bat too, so he gets a ball that kind of out a little bit, just tried to tomahawk and get on top of it. He saw that DJ was going. Nothing DJ could do, nothing that Jeff Hoffman could do. It was just unfortunate because D's taking off. You have to have somebody at the bag, and it was DJ's coverage, and then he just shoots a two-hopper through right exactly where DJ vacated his territory.
So here's Mitch Haniger, who has driven in 65 this year. He is a rising star. Segura has been nicked up a little bit, but he also runs very well at first base.
I'm not sure he's going to run here, only because of after fouling that ball off his leg, he was hobbling down to first base as he was going down there. So I'm not sure that feels too good right now. And if you're Rockies, what do you do? Do you throw all the way through? Do you get the pump fake because you don't want Gordon to come home?
I think you go back to a younger generation of baseball. Young kids, you know, the real low levels, they don't throw through because it's an automatic run. You're talking about the best arms in the world. It's still.
He's one of those rare breeds that can outrun a baseball.
Yeah. 1-1 on Haniger. That's outside. Let me ask you something, Jeff. In this situation, go back when you were playing shortstop and you played some second also, would you have a situation like you see in high school, you see in college, where there's a read sometimes from the second baseman? If that guy breaks, you cut it off. How did you guys handle it?
Yeah, every once in a while. So what you would do then is you would come right into this area right in front of the bag, if you could do it, where you would start to come home. Early in the game, I think if you do throw through, doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it's irrelevant because Segura is going to end up at third base. 1-0 as D. Gordon scores. So Jeff Hoffman with an errant pickoff attempt. And this is not how he wanted his evening to start.
He just buries this one down in the dirt.
He probably should be caught.
No, yep, exactly. After looking at that replay, that didn't hit the dirt until after it went by Ian.
Now, I'm sure Ian will tell you after the game that he should have caught that baseball. I'll let you, after this pitch finish, how you guys handle that at the major league level. 2-1 on Haniger.
So what you do is you go to the bag, and then out of the corner of your eye, you'll see that guy go, so you'll end up closing ground towards home.
You can't have two middle infielders break.
Right, right. And what you hope that would happen would be you would get the other guy behind him, whether it's Trevor or DJ, whoever had the bag. The other guy would be helping you out, yelling home, home, home.
And then you just come to the baseball.
You just come to the baseball, cut off the distance, and if he goes, fine. If he doesn't, not much you're going to do anyway.
And that's a base hit. Haniger with a single, and it's 2-0 Seattle.
Right off the top of Ian's glove. Tried to get up just off the laces. Got up as high as he could. Man, he's up off the ground, and it's unfortunate. Now it's 2-0, and an RBI for Haniger is 66th.
And they did, by the way, initially give that error to Hoffman. We'll see if that changes. In there to Kyle Seager. Yeah, it's a funny game. You get 2 seeing eye hits. A throw that's not handled, and now there's 2 runs in and there's nobody out. Rockies crowd the right side with Seager. Here's the 0-1. And this may have something to do with that, honestly.
Yeah.
This is the worst time to be a first baseman. And we've seen Nolan many times long hop a throw over or run and try to create a better angle for Ian Desmond. And Desi may have just lost that in the sun. And that's outside. 2-1.
I think, you know, with Nolan, where he throws from, and Desi has that opportunity to kind of read a hop then. But Jeff, the distance is much shorter, so he's trying to catch a throw from him that not sure where it's going to end up, and you're looking through the sun, you're fighting it, you got the glasses on, but still you can't cut all the glare out of there.
Getting out here. This is popped up in Trevor Story territory. Seager's retired. That's the first out. Denard Span coming up. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively tonight. Nolan Arenado, if you missed it, what a great play he made yesterday to cut a run down at the plate when the Rockies trailed 1-0. Knocked down a ball off the bat at 99 miles an hour, kind of popped up in the air, grabbed it with his bare hand and fired a strike to Iannetta on a tag play. Just another in a long line of unbelievable plays by the perennial Gold Glover, now a Platinum Glove Award winner. Here's Span, and he loops his foul into the stands.
You were talking about that. Our StatCast is powered by AWS, and this is a play from yesterday. Off the glove, bare hand, you see the exit velocity, the exchange time. By the time it hit his glove, the camera couldn't even keep up with it. That's how hard it was hit. And then he throws it home 85.2 miles an hour to cut off that run at home.
Yeah, I love that they also had the throw from Nolan and how hard it was. You have time to get cranked up or anything. Span takes low, 1-1. Home plate umpire is Jansen Visconti. He's a call-up umpire. Jeff Nelson's the crew chief. Jeff's at first. Laz Diaz, Laz been around a long time now. He's at second. Manny Gonzalez is at third. 2 runs in, 1 out. Span, who started the year playing for Tampa, got traded in May. And that's a base hit. Cargo comes up with it, and he'll hold Haniger to 90 feet. So it's first and second. And the guy who really hurt the Rockies last Sunday in their bid to sweep Seattle, Ryan Healy.
We had 5 RBIs in that game on Sunday. 3-run home run, and then another double in the first inning to drive in a couple runs, and that was with 2 outs. That one kind of hurt too. That was when Seattle scored 3 in that first inning.
Yeah, and the Rockies ended up losing the game 6-4. So Healy was the main reason why. Steve Foster with a meeting with Jeff Hoffman at the mound. There's been 4 hits in the inning. Fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, comments, questions, photos. Twitter is the place to go. Include the hashtag #ToyotaTalk. Span had a lot of experience with Hoffman. I know Jeff doesn't have a ton of big league time. That's the 10th at bat for Denard Span against Jeff Hoffman. He has 4 hits.
Yeah, the only other guy is Gene Segura. Segura is now 4 for 4 against Hoffman.
Here's the thing, in Hoffman's mind, I'm sure Steve Foster reminded him, you know, make a pitch here, double play gets you out of it. Yeah, it hasn't been a fun first inning, but don't let it really unravel.
Exactly.
It's not like, you know, there've been a couple balls hit hard, but a couple of seeing eye base hits.
The first 2.
Yep.
The first 2 balls were just of the seeing eye variety.
Good pitch. Swung on a miss. Slider 1-1.
That's right around the range too for Jeff on that slider. 85, 86 miles an hour.
This is in the air to left near the stands and near the foul line, and it's hauled in by Parra. So that is out number 2, and that'll bring up Ben Gamble playing center field tonight.
Gamble played that game Friday in Seattle in right field. It's been a while since he's played center field for the Mariners, but he's their fastest guy. So they thought put him in center field here at Coors Field.
Good first pitch. 0-1 on Gamble.
Pitch. Nope.
Good spot. Right at the bottom of the zone. You live there, you're going to be all right.
And you're going to start to get those calls. You continually pound that strike zone down at the knees. You'll eventually get it. I mean, that clipped the bottom of the Subaru strike zone. Wasn't called a strike, but that's where you want to pitch, though.
And Tony's as good as anybody in the game at getting low strikes called. Over through that slider, it's 2-1. Tell when he works around it. Fastball's fouled back. 2-2. Hoffman's been working so far in this first inning. 93, a couple 94s. He's a guy we've seen.
Yep.
96, 97 at different times.
Part of it too.
24-year-old.
Well, just to back off to have a little bit better control. I've seen pitchers do that too. Take a mile or two off, but be able to spot.
Overamped that curveball. Tony's not going to throw. As Haniger left, Span did not. A little tougher read for the trail runner. He's got to make sure that guy doesn't slam on the brakes and then run yourself out of the inning.
Well, and where this ball hit too, so far out in front of home plate on the Subaru Supermo that Tony could just slide over and at least knock it down. But Denard doesn't know what Haniger is going to do, so he waits. Tony did the wise thing. Don't throw that down to third base and in hopes you're going to get somebody.
Whole dugout's probably yelling, "Eat it."
Eat it.
Make a pitch here. 3-2 on Gamble. First and third, 2 outs. Runner going naturally, and it's fouled off. So Span will come back and start up again. I know it's very early in the evening. It's a big sequence right now.
Yeah, it is. Already a couple runs in, and with Span running at first, if there's a ball in the gap, that's 2 more.
It's down the left field line. It's going to go out of play despite Gerardo chasing it. Again, if you're just joining us, you're saying, hey, Jeff Hoffman's pitching tonight. I thought Antonio Sensatello was supposed to go. Antonio has a blister issue that got infected, and that's why he was scratched. Chad Bettis' turn would come tomorrow, but Chad is still not ready to go, so John Gray will make the start tomorrow. Right now it's Jeff Hoffman. And a ground ball toward the hole. Diving stop, DJ. Safe. That one they'll take a look at underneath. If it holds up, obviously a run has scored. Going to third is Span. What an amazing stop. I didn't think there was any way that DJ's getting to this.
Not off the bat. And then to make the throw to first. And then the scoop.
You're going to take a look at it.
Take a look. Let's see what we got here.
Leather,
he's out. He is out. Great look on the Subaru Supermo. What another play by DJ.
Unbelievable play by DJ. Nice pick by Desi.
But that's 2 in this inning. I know he didn't get D. Gordon the first time.
That's where when you come down to like DRS, that right there is by itself is a full run.
Yes.
That's a run.
That's a run.
And you don't know what happens afterward
if not more.
If he's ruled safe. And I'm pretty confident he's going to be ruled out.
Yeah, and the crowd knows it here too. They're showing it on the big screen on our nice Jumbotron that we have. They're seeing that ball's in the glove before the foot's on the bat.
That is enormous.
Huge.
Tough first inning, but it could have been worse. Another unbelievable play by the Gold Glover DJ LeMahieu. So the Mariners get 2. If he makes that play on Gordon, the whole inning probably takes on a different complexion. So the Rockies start down a couple of runs. But if not for DJ, it could have been even worse. Southwest starting lineup. Here's the batting order for Buddy Black. Blackman, Arenado, Cargo, as Taylor was telling you, really swinging the bat exceptionally well, driving in runs every game, it seems like. Trevor, nobody's been better the last 6 weeks than Trevor's story. Gerardo Parra, Ian Desmond, he has 18 home runs. Tony Walters, Tony 3 bags, he's in the lineup tonight. And then Jeff Hoffman. And they're facing a guy that many of the guys in the Rockies dugout know well and respect, and that's Christian Bergman out of UC Irvine, 30-year-old, facing his former team for the first time. And one thing you know about Bergman, the stuff's not overwhelming, but he's got a lot of guts and he's not afraid. And he's not afraid to throw any of those pitches in any count. You don't know what he's going to give you, but he's going to have to shave corners if he wants to be successful. We've seen that before because he's made 30 career games here at Coors Field, 7 career starts. Overall, for the Rockies, 6-4 with a 6.69 ERA here at Coors. And a rocket shot on one hop picked up by Segura, and he takes a hit away from DJ. Just look at the difference in that the leadoff hitter. I mean, DJ ropes that ball. Segura is able to make the play. Here's Seattle defensively, and Ben Gamble, we were discussing, is playing center field, giving Heredia a night off. ordinarily, Gamble does run well. Huey mentioned that, but ordinarily they probably put Mitch Haniger in center. But Mitch's knee, if you watch the games last weekend, he was out for a couple days. He had banged it up in the previous series against the Angels, so he's still a little bit gimpy. So it's Gamble in center tonight, with Haniger and Span joining him.
You're talking about Gamble. This is just his second career game in center field. The other one was in 2016. He played behind King Felix in Oakland.
Well, he reminds us of the barnyard. This ball is well hit right center field, deep, and gone. Charlie Blackmon gets a run back with his 19th. That didn't take long.
No, not at all. He said 19 home runs. That's just his 6th here at Coors Field. But a couple just recently in the just completed series in Seattle. Charlie was 4 for 14.
You're right. That's his 3rd home run in 3 games and change against Seattle.
That's kind of a no-doubter, too. It's 103 miles an hour off the bat. And just like that, it's 2-1.
I know Nolan, and you know Nolan, and though he never articulate this, inside, you know what fire's burning for him? Because there's always something burning. He went 2 for 13 last weekend in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's not going to sit well with him.
No, not at all, after he went 5 for 10 then against Arizona.
And in his career against Seattle, and he knows this. Maybe not the exact numbers, but he knows, man, I've never hit against Seattle.
Players know it.
This is shocking. He's 6 for 53, a 113 career batting average. Start carving into that, you would think, tonight. This has a chance to drop. Nope, D. Gordon gets back there. That's the 2nd out, and that'll bring up Cargo. Something's funny.
We gotta have fun playing the game. I think D. Gordon has fun playing the game.
That's why he's pretty good at it. So here's Cargo. He is 10 for his last 24 at the plate. Those are over the 2 series, the Seattle series and the Arizona series, with a lot of damage. He had 6 RBIs in the 19-run game on Wednesday. He had a RBI single to help add on late yesterday. Cargo had a couple of home runs in that Wednesday affair.
Yeah, I like the piece that Taylor did about Cargo in our open, and how Cargo was saying he's got a lot of confidence right now, and he should.
Yep.
You know, he's able to take balls. We saw a home run to left center field the other day. If you put one inside, he'll pull it into the 3rd deck.
He feels really good. I was talking to him. It was Wednesday before that ball game, and I said, "You look good." I said, "You know what? I think you're going to have a huge 2nd half." And he goes, "You know, I feel that way." And you know what I like about what he said to Taylor also? The first thing he said was about the team.
Yes.
And this is toward the gap in left center field. He keeps on hitting. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Cargo to 2nd, and he'll stop there with 2 outs. The wise move. So Cargo just keeps on raking. And speaking of raking, the guy coming up's raking.
14th double this season for Cargo, and you know, you get ahead in the count, you get a little over anxious, think I'm going to pull this ball. Nope, not with Cargo. He stayed centered on the Subaru Superboat. About 112 miles an hour off the bat for this double.
He's in the best place. He warmed up late last year, the final 6 weeks, but he's getting to one of those places that we haven't seen in a couple of years.
Mechanically, because he is now going directional back towards the pitcher. It's not rotational with the upper half where you have to spin out of things. Everything's looking real good right now. Leg kick timing is impeccable.
First pitch strike on Story. How about this with Trevor? He's hitting .377 since June the 8th. That is the best average in the sport, and more of that damage. He's been out on the road. He's hitting well over 400 on the road. This ball on the ground is short. And Segura will throw him out. But the Rockies do get a run back on the home run to right center by Charlie Blackmon. Number 19 for Chuck Nasty. 2-1 as we go to the second. This mile-high evening. Time for our lows, whole team together. June was not good from a pitching standpoint. How about July so far? You go from last to first in baseball in ERA, and Buddy Black's team's been riding some great starting pitching. I mean, outstanding starting pitching as that first pitch is high to Chris Herman. Ball one. The last 12 games, the starters, Huey, have a 2.03 ERA. And listen, the pen was much maligned, as we know, in June. Let's throw some kudos their direction. They have a 2.64 ERA over the last dozen ball games.
Well, it kind of works hand in hand. What the starters have been doing going deeper into the game, you're not asking the bullpen to get 10 or 12 outs for the ball game. And so they're in a better place. Everybody, it all starts 60 feet 6 inches away. I don't care what league what level you're playing at. We can go to a little league game and you can have a pretty good idea of who's going to win that game based on on who's pitching, right?
Every time.
Every time. And it doesn't change in 125 years either at the major league level.
I've always said this, you know what, you could strut in with your 12-year-old team and they're all 6 foot and they'd shave already. And the other team has little Johnny on the mound. They got everybody else is 4'8", but they got little Johnny.
Little Johnny.
And guess whose team's going to win? Little Johnny's going to slay all the big guys with the beards.
That's right.
You're chuckling at home because you've all seen it. If you have sons or daughters who play and saw that team, you say, "Oh man, this is a physical mismatch." 2-2. 3-2 on Herman. But the pitcher on deck. Hoffman obviously needs a uneventful inning. And he loses it.
For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch, Drew. And you know what? No triskaidekaphobia for this ball club. You know what that is, right, Drew?
Yeah, I was born on the 13th.
Okay, so
that was the first word I learned.
So that's the fear of the number 13. But the Rockies aren't 6-7 on Friday the 13th, and they've also won 8 straight on Friday the 13th. So then, no triskaidekaphobia for this club.
No, the Mariners can go home then right about now, right? It's done. It's over with. We'll play again tomorrow.
I was just so worried I was going to mess that up.
Did well. Practiced all afternoon.
Oh my goodness. I woke up in sweats last night thinking I got to say that word.
Dougie nailed it earlier. He practices words like that. Bergman takes that. It's 1-1. Herman a catcher at first, but Herman's a versatile guy. He runs much better than most catchers. So if you're thinking about the opportunity for turning a double play off the bunt. Good play by Tony. He knows that was in foul ground. Kill it foul. One and two on Bergman. And that's bunted in the air. Desmond will flip to DJ, but getting back was Herman. So one out.
They'll still have the bunt on with 2 strikes, and to throw up and in. That's exactly where you're taught to throw when somebody squares around to bunt. And then the dive back on the Subaru Supermo by Chris Herman. DJ making sure, not worried about really stepping on the bag because he knows he's already there. Just don't let that ball go down the line.
We're 4 outs into this game from a defensive perspective on the Rockies. DJ has already run like 6 miles. He's had to be active. Almost took a hit from D. Gordon to start the evening. Gordon up there now, and he takes strike 1.
He's a guy you have to shorten up too if you're an infielder, especially up the middle. Because if he hits it on the ground as a Nolan, DJ's got to get to that bat quickly. So you'll come in, normally it's 2 in, 2 over. I think you come in 3 and maybe go a half step more closer to the bag.
That's a strike. We got a really interesting, how fast is D. Gordon? We got an interesting grouping here. These are guys that are over 30. JB Shuck, who just got he cleared waivers with Miami, and he's now in New Orleans. Peter Borges, who's always been able to run. D. Gordon, 4th on that list. Jared Dyson is hurt right now for Arizona. Here's the 0-2, fouled off. So that's not overall, it's just guys in that 30+ crowd.
Okay, how about Davis for Cleveland though? He's 38 and he's running 29.3.
Is Rajay 38 now? Wow. Speedy Flash Gordon. Well, there were a lot of Rockies fans in Seattle, and now some Seattle fans saying we want to see the mountains. Boy, Herman would have been picked off. He started and it alarmed him that he took off, and Hoffman hadn't disengaged from the rubber yet, and he just like stopped and thinking, man, if he throws over now I'm done.
Yeah.
But Jeff didn't see it.
But for pitchers too, sometimes those guys, if they take off, they get in that blind spot for a right-handed pitcher, so he can't see it if he gets another 2 steps off the bag.
1-2, and a ground ball again toward that hole. DJ out this time. That's the same exact ball he hit in the first inning.
The only difference is DJ didn't have to slide for this one. Mercy for DJ. I told you he already had to cheat closer to the bag because of D. Now he's got to go to his left and range. And now you're going, I got to get rid of it. I don't have time to spin. DJ on the year, 2.97 assists per game. That leads all National League second basemen.
And I'm so glad you pointed that out, because that's why you can't just look at errors, thus fielding percentage. How many baseballs do they get to?
Yeah.
If they're consistently like Nolan, like DJ, that they consistently have more assists than anybody else, well, you can say, well, the staff produces a lot of ground balls. Okay, that's part of it, no question.
Yeah.
But it speaks to their range.
Yeah. And the anticipation to get to those baseballs.
1-0 on Segura, good pitch. Speaking of getting the baseballs, that's what Story does. Much better inning for Jeff Hoffman. Leadoff walk did not hurt him. 2-1, middle of 2, Seattle.
Who's been on the DL with a broken right foot running the bases today. He was also throwing in the outfield. He's been hitting all week. He's expected to go to Albuquerque for a rehab assignment next week. He said he's feeling really good and really excited about what's to come. He said the team's playing so well right now, so he can't wait to get back in here. He said there's no timeline exactly. We'll just have to see how the rehab assignments go in Albuquerque. Drew.
Yeah, you know, Taylor, you can underline looking good, that phrase you used. Here's Christian Bergman and Gerardo Parra, ball one. Huey, you and I, we chatted with him in Spilly the other day, and we were like, what? I said, dude, would you live in the weight room and sleep there? He gained 8 pounds. This is good weight. I mean, he is jacked up. So he's been out for more than a month. He has gotten unbelievably strong, and he did a great job in the offseason getting much stronger as he arrived at spring training this year. He's up to 196 pounds.
Good for him. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you start to wallow in self-pity. Why did I get hurt again? And then you got to spin it into positive. You get one day, I always say, to say, okay, feel sorry for myself day. And then after that, move on. There's nothing you can do about it.
Jeff, do you remember when he came up, and of course, you know, he hit in his first 17 games, and he took not only the Rockies by storm, he took the league by storm. Here's the 3-0 to Gerardo. 3-1. Parra will be followed by Desmond and Tony Threebags. I'm not calling Walters anymore. I'm done with that. There's a lot of Walters out there. How many Tony Threebags are out there? But anyhow, he came up. The uniform was falling off him. He was in the 165-pound range.
You know, sometimes when you lose the weight, you got to put an extra, on your belt, another hole.
Yeah, you got to take the anvil out.
Yeah,
you got to get the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, remember those? You're making another hole in your belt.
Sure.
That's what he had to do for his belt to hold his baseball pants up.
Back in college when you couldn't afford to buy another one?
Yes.
3-2, line to left. If it's fair, it's extra bases. Hunting that left field corner. Parra into second with a leadoff double in the second.
I like how he just went with this pitch.
And for Gerardo, his 15th double of the year.
Yeah, it was 3-0 count, then he worked it to 3-2, and then inside out. Love the head positioning on this. You get your body too far out front, your head will travel, and your bat will drag behind. He didn't do that. He kind of let the ball travel deeper to hit it to left field. That's the approach you have to have against Bergman. Somebody who's 88, 89, 90 miles an hour.
Well, you described that was Cargo's approach.
Yes.
He doubled to left center field last
If
inning.
you're thinking pull the ball, he'll carve you up and you get a lot of ground balls.
Desi the other way, base hit. He may have just hit this too hard. Parr is going to stop at third. Stu Cole held him there. Really good approach for the Rockies tonight.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, Drew. For Desmond, a couple nights ago, he hits a one on the concourse. It's 5 RBIs. But here he's trying to play team ball. Well, I'm going to get the guy over, but he hit it so hard. This is a nice swing. Hit it hard. And all Stu could do is hold up Gerardo. He's running hard. He wants to score, but the ball was hit so hard that he couldn't do it.
Important at bat here for Walters, hitting in front of the pitcher. First and third, nobody out. How aggressive is Desi in this situation?
I think he can be a little bit more aggressive. I'm all right with it because, as you said, you have the pitcher hitting behind him. And so how does Seattle play it? Do they throw all the way through? I think you have to weigh the benefits against the cost. And I think that's where, for Scott, he's saying, well, if I throw all the way through and we happen to get him, maybe that run scores, but then it's 2-2, nobody on, I got an out. On the flip side, Christian Bergman's pretty quick to the plate. So it's going to be tough to run on him if you're Desi.
2-0. This is to first, and the run's going to score on the transfer. The ball came out, so Desmond is out on the force at second. Tony will get an RBI. Good read by Parra. The game is tied at 2.
Parra did not run home until he saw what Ryan Healy was doing with the baseball. So Desi's going in, so he's got the catch, getting out of the way, and now on the transfer. He had control of it. I was thinking that's an interesting play, though, for Segura, as you got the leg coming in of Ian.
Hoffman does a good job getting the bunt down. 2-2, 2 outs. The go-ahead run at second with DJ coming up. He was robbed by Segura his first time up on a hot shot. Fans when the Rockies score 7 or more, and they've been doing that on a pretty regular basis. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Live Mas at Taco Bell. So Tony's at second base with 2 outs. DJ had a big series against Arizona, 6 for 14. Scored 5 runs in that series.
How about a birthday hit for DJ?
He's 30 today. This is bounce foul. Happy birthday, David John LeMahieu.
Seems like one of those guys that wouldn't want anybody to sing happy birthday to him.
No, he's one of those guys. I hope Jordan's having a little party for him later. And I hope at some point somebody says speech. Because it's going to be quick.
You know, you always have those guys. You go out to a restaurant. They cannot sing "Happy Birthday" to me from the restaurant. I think DJ's one of those guys.
Yeah, no, he'd be thoroughly embarrassed. Down the right field line, foul.
Other guys eat it up. They said, "This is great," and I get a dessert out of it.
And I get a dessert out of it.
I'm on that side of the coin.
I'm a little past the whole wait staff coming and singing happy birthday. But you know, we all went. You know, we went what 6, 7, 8 years with the kids where you
Exactly.
every birthday.
Every birthday.
3-2. Of course, Jeff Houston, truth be told, folks, pretends it's not an obnoxious amount, but 3 or 4 times a year he'll just go in because he loves dessert so much.
I'm a pretender.
Right, and it's kind of a white lie. It's actually a bold-faced lie that that it's his birthday, so he gets the free dessert. 3-2 on LeMahieu. And this is in the air to right, an easy play for Haniger. Rockies tie it up. Gerardo Parra, a lead double. He scored on an RBI ground out by Tony Threebags. 2-2. By Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by T-Mobile, show your military appreciation and use the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. And T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post.
You know who that is, right, Drew?
That's Tony Walters flashing around the bases.
What a photo from Matt Dirksen. He is such a talented photographer.
Yes, he is. Rich Haniger at the plate. He takes inside ball 1. So we're all even again, 2-2. As we begin the 3rd inning. With my good friend Jeff Houston and Taylor McGregor. I'm Drew Goodman and our entire AT Sportsnet crew. Final 3 ball games before the All-Star break.
This is game number 94. I think people always think All-Star break, it's 50-50. No, game number 94. So once you come back, it's pedal to the metal.
You know what, Huey, and you experienced it, so many times. You were in the big leagues for a dozen years. That after the All-Star break, we always talk about the baseball season being a marathon, which it is. That's a strike. Good pitch. 1-2. It's the only time we can use that term sprint.
Yes.
It becomes really a 2-month sprint for those teams in contention, and we know how crowded that NL West is.
It's like everybody's jockeying for position to start up until the All-Star break. Good pitch.
Yeah, really good pitch.
That's a curveball. Remember I was talking about it in our open. Hopefully you see a little bit more out of the curveball from Jeff Hoffman. Evidence here of that sharp 12-6, his first strikeout tonight. That's a dandy.
That's a great pitch. Out in front, off balance. Kyle Seager with 1 out. The Rockies will rotate Trevor Story to the right side. DJ will become a short fielder.
No, but what I was saying is you got teams kind of jockeying for position up till the All-Star break. Now there are some that have already thrown a few shoes and are way back, like Kansas City, maybe Baltimore, that are 30-something games back already.
Yeah. Baltimore threw a couple of shoes into the bag.
Yeah, it's.
And now, I mean, nobody pays attention to how Baltimore's doing. It's just the Manny Machado watch, it seems like, every day.
They're 39.5 games back. They're 26-68.
Yeah, it's been a rough
Mercy.
year. Speculation they may trade Adam Jones, Zach Britton.
Oriole the bird.
Couldn't do that, can they?
No, they can't do that.
2-1.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah. It's a great time of year because of the All-Star game. And I'm not saying this because we work in baseball. I enjoy the All-Star game. I really do. And the Pro Bowl, unfortunately, and I love football, but that's become a joke. The NBA and NHL All-Star games, even though we love those sports, you know, it's not a really competitive environment. But listen, it's still great. The All-Star game. It's matchups of the best players in the game on the hill, at the plate. Anyhow, I enjoy that. And then you have the 2 weeks leading up to the trade deadline. This ball's down the left field line and drifting away from the playing surface. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Seager. So it's a great time of year. By the way, the All-Star game on Tuesday is July the 17th. It's the latest that the All-Star game's been played since 1979, when it fell on July the 19th. So to your point about it, you know, we call it first half, second half, but you're really well into, from a numeric standpoint, well into the second half.
That'd be the Rockies, their 96th game when they end on Sunday.
Good curveball, well located.
No, but I'm with you with the All-Star game. It's just so different in baseball because you still have guys trying to throw 100 miles an hour. Unlike some of the other sports that don't play defense, you'll see defense played in this game, in the All-Star game. Nobody's just giving you anything in the game.
That's a change-up, and it's 3-2.
Third-year manager Scott Service, shown a moment ago.
Ground ball, foul.
Scott with the Rockies ties, still lives here in Colorado.
It's interesting because he had 101 at bats in a Rockies uniform, but he and his family settled here. And it's like you, Huey. Obviously, you went to college just north of here. Well, you and Wendy, and you settled here, even though you never played the big leagues for Colorado. This is going to be extra bases for Seager.
We got a beautiful state. Why not?
It's tough to beat. 1 out double. That'll bring up Denard Span, who singled his first time up.
Coors Light presents Rooftop Live, a season-long concert series on the rooftop before select Saturday home games. Next up is the Tyler Walker Band tomorrow night at 5:30. Go to Rockies.com/rooftop for more information. And a reminder, since that rooftop we're talking about at the band, 5:30 tomorrow's game, our pregame shows at 6:30. And then the game first pitch will be 7:10 tomorrow night, not our normal 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, that may throw me off.
It's better it's that way for you than the other way around.
This is pulled foul. Allison Behill, our producer, who's terrific. She's smiling ear to ear
yes,
right now.
Yes, she is. It is just different, though.
It is a 7 o'clock
Saturday,
start.
7 o'clock start. That's an old school start time.
Well, you
we
want
used
to
to
get
have some 8 o'clocks when I was playing against the Yankees.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because growing up in New York, they were all 8 o'clock games. And I want to say, even back in the day, I'm going to turn to Dougie, because he's a Jersey boy, that I think there were some 8:30 starts. Think about that.
I know. Well, I just remember bus time being 5 o'clock. Like, wait, 5 o'clock? But yeah, by the time we got there, we were the visitors. Yeah, 5 o'clock in rush hour traffic in New York.
leaving Manhattan for the Bronx at 5 o'clock.
For the Bronx at 5 o'clock.
He got nicked a little bit, and Scotty Garrett's going to check him out. And it was the bat on the follow-through. That's one of the reasons Denard Span went over and checked on him and apologized. You know what, guys fly the top hand, and this happens periodically. As a catcher, you want to get up underneath the hitter.
Well, it's a good thing he has the hockey style mask on because he has the padding behind. If he had old school, there would be nothing there.
Was it last year or 2 years ago when Tony got concussed? I think it was last year. I remember he caught a couple more pitches, and then one glanced off his glove, and they realized something wasn't right. It just misses 1 and 2. And you know, right now Keith Duggar and Scotty Garrett are staring, and they're watching his actions just to make sure he's okay. There's Scotty.
And then they'll check him out again when he comes off the field.
1 and 2 on Span. 1 out. Runner at second in a 2-2 game. Got him. There's that curveball again.
Full strikeouts tonight on curveballs. This didn't have the 12-6. That one a little bit more sideways on it.
But it's a plus pitch.
Yes, it is.
It's a plus pitch for him.
It really is.
So Ryan Healy, who fouled out down the left field line, comes up with 2 outs. Seager still at second base. Big, strong guy. Healy's got 18 home runs. He's been part of the great first half for Seattle. Good pitch. Tony appears to be okay. The reason I thought it was 2 years ago, as it was 2 years ago, was also last year. So we were right on both accounts. May of last year, he suffered a concussion, and then in June of 2016. Oh-1.
Again, I go back to just the health of the players in Major League Baseball being proactive in concussions.
Yeah, all the sports.
And I know for a while they
been,
probably weren't.
Yep.
But now they are saying, wait a second, time out. Let's make sure everybody's okay. Yeah, you're starting to see it more in football, and yeah, you have to.
And they've changed the rules dramatically, as we all know, in
And hockey
the
too.
NFL and hockey. Yep. Healy caught by Story, end of inning. Off the bat, you're thinking that's going to give Seattle the lead, but Trevor tracked it down. Good play by Trevor Story. 2-2, middle of 3.
why the Rockies are tied up 2-2 because of his home run in the first inning. Statcast brought to you by Subaru. 103 miles an hour off the bat, 436 feet. And for the Rockies now, they've homered in 9 straight games, longest streak of the season.
They have 121 home runs, which I don't know what Milwaukee's done tonight home run wise, but that's tied with Milwaukee if they have not hit a homer for second. This is, yeah, he had a shot at hitting that one out also. Ben Gamble makes a catch, but they came, they're now tied, I should say, with Milwaukee, 121 homers, second to the Dodgers, who have 125 homers. This guy's hit a few home runs. And Jesus Aguilar leading the league with 23.
Jesus going to the All-Star game.
And he should be.
Yes, he should. I really think, just looking at the final 5 votes, that they got him right with Aguilar and Gene Segura.
I agree with you. Ball 1 on Nolan. He popped to second, his initial at bat. 5 for 10 in that Arizona series. How about this? His last 46 at bats coming into tonight at home. 21 hits, 7 homers, 20 driven in. And that's a line drive to Seager, 2 outs. Achieving More is brought to you by AT. Since 2016 interleague play, Cargo has owned the American League, the highest batting average going at 364. Charlie's next. And the guy we just saw with Arizona now, John Jay. One of John's former teammates, Matt Carpenter with St. Louis. And maybe a bit of a surprise, young Josh Bell with Pittsburgh. Cargo a double to left center his first time. He had a healthy swing there. That's where he likes the baseball, where he can really get the arms extended. You know, 2 baseballs off the plate for most guys is unhittable. For Cargo, that's sometimes a sweet spot.
Yeah, you say, well, I got to have a defined strike zone. Well, his defined strike zone might not be a strike for anybody else, but it works for him.
Here's the 1-1. Up high, 2-1. Christian Bergman, originally a 24th round pick of the Rockies.
You know what? He's one of 3 Rockies that have been picked in the 24th round to make the major leagues. You know, a guy that we just saw recently, Jerry Vasto, in 2014, of course, Christian Bergman, and then remember Tommy Field?
Yeah, Tommy Field's a good player.
Yeah, 2008, he was a 24th round pick of the Rockies.
It's a good picking by Billy Schmidt and his staff. 3-1. And Christian didn't want to give in to his teammate, his old teammate, I should say, Cargo, after he blasted that double. So here comes Trevor Story. Pick your poison right now with that Rockies lineup. It's playing out over the last really better part of 2 months like most thought it would. There's no breathing room for the guy who's standing on the hill.
And I think that at bat, though, for Cargo kind of implements this whole slugging now for the Rockies, because Trevor leading the pack with his 377 average since June 8th. Which we just saw, it's 2 guys on that list, Paul Goldschmidt, David Peralta, but 377.
Trevor grounded to short his first at bat. He's made so many great in-game adjustments, making adjustments within at bats now, which I think all the really gifted hitters do.
Think about how many times now you see he's ahead in the count. Here's the 2-0.
home run he hit yesterday, opposite field.
Well, that was in the 7th inning yesterday off of Delgado.
We're talking about home runs, Huey. Here's that home run from Trevor yesterday.
And that's just pure strength.
That was a mid-90s fastball also.
Delgado has a good fastball.
Bergman trying to go soft and softer with Trevor.
Then if he'll throw that 89 or 90 mile an hour fastball that'll play up, make it seem like it's 93 or 94 after slowing you down with the 77 mile an hour curveball.
Three and two, so now you get the benefit of cargo with the legs moving here. 2-2 game, bottom of 3. Seattle scored 2 in the first. Rockies got a run on a Blackmon homer in the first, got another run after a leadoff double in the second by Gerardo Parra.
Look at how much that ball was in on the Subaru strike zone. That was run on the pitch by Bergman. What a beautiful night.
It's perfect out.
83 degrees, slight whisper of a breeze.
I like it. Sounds like you're doing golf. Center field, pretty well hit. Gamble going back, still going back. Gone. 2-run home run, Trevor Story. 19 for Story, and the Rockies lead at 4-2.
Trevor's now hit in 8 straight ball games. Yesterday's home run traveled 407 feet. Well, this one's going to surpass that by a ways. Change up on the Subaru Supermo. Trevor reaches for it, but so strong. He got that on the barrel. Just like that, the Rockies are up 4-2.
It goes back to a conversation that we had last week with Dwayne Espy, and he said Trevor hit one of his final swings of batting practice. This is in the last couple of weeks. It was kind of a home run wall scraper, and he hits a ton of balls after in BP. And he grinned it at Dwayne, and he said, "Hey, less is more."
Right.
And when he said, "You don't have to swing like you're trying to hit the ball to Fort Collins." And as strong as he is, he was out front a little bit because it was a changeup. He still hit it 430 over the center field wall.
Under control.
Yeah.
That's what that means when he's talking about less is more. Under control. Sure, if you swing at 100%, every once in a while you're going to hit one, and it's going to be one of those monster shots, and everybody's going to ooh and ah.
Check the box scores tomorrow. When you look at and you see the Rockies, Blackmon 19, Story 19. They don't have parenthetically, it went 422 feet, it went 387 feet, that's not part of it. It's over the fence, it's over the fence.
Rockies are the only team, in the major leagues that have 4 guys that have 18 or more home runs.
The way the night's going, they may have 3 guys with 20+ home runs before the end of the night. Blackmon's hit his 19th, and now Story is 19th. This ball down the left field line and out of play. That home run for Story, the 70th of his career, 335 games. And how about this? This is a Dougie special. Only 36 guys in the history of the game have arrived at 70 home runs faster than Story, doing it in 335. 3-2. And a walk to Parra. And this is about the lineup, man. You look, okay, who's coming up next? You're Bergman go, oh man, here comes Desmond. He's got 18 home runs. He had a rocket to right off me the first time up.
Because think about this inning, though. He got Charlie on a fly out. He got Nolan to line out. He said, okay, I got Charlie and Nolan. Okay, there's 2 guys. There's 2 outs. Good. Wait. Cargo. Walk. Trevor. Home run. Gerardo. Walk. Desi already has a base hit in this game.
Desi works underneath this one. Haniger and Wright will gather it in. In the inning, the Rockies score a couple more. Trevor Story over the center field wall. Officially 422 feet. Officially his 19th of the year. Officially 4-2 Colorado.
'30th birthday, so I want to take you back to 1996. DJ and his family were moving from California out to Michigan, and in the meantime, they stopped at 3 parks along the way. One of those was Coors Field. Him and his family sat roughly up here in 316, and DJ learned how to score a baseball game for the very first time. And ironically, he still has that scorecard to this day. He said it's a dream of his to get it signed. If you think about 1996, it's all those Blake Street Bombers. So I have a birthday idea for him. It would be to get that card signed by all of the guys in that roster. True?
Yeah, you know, all he has to do is take it to the clubhouse, and from DJ's locker, it's about 8 steps to Vinny's locker. He can get Vinny knocked off pretty quickly, right?
Yep.
What a career he's had already.
What a trade for the Rockies.
One of their all-timers. Outside, Dan O'Dowd sent Ian Stewart, who had an abundance of talent, and Casey Weathers, who was a #1 pick out of Vanderbilt, a closer type who never got to the big leagues. For DJ, that's a strike. They'll pick up your bat again. 3-1 on Gamble. For DJ and Tyler Colvin. And Colvin's first year was a very good one in a Rockies uniform, and then he had some back issues after that. But listen, if it was 2 guys and another guy, a prospect or whatever for DJ, it's still going to be one of the all-time trades. That's a base hit for Gamble. We asked Theo Epstein. He had a Hall of Fame career running Boston, running the Cubs, and it shows you how hard it is to be a decision maker, because you know some of your decisions are going to work out nicely, some will be okay, and some aren't going to work out at all. And that one, from Theo Epstein's perspective, turned out to be kerplunk.
And he said it before, that was a bad trade on my part. But they thought they had Darwin Barney. That was going to be a guy in Chicago for a long time.
Here's Chris Herman. I got to finish the Chris Herman deal. I got on Twitter. I tried to start a story at a bad time. Anyhow, Chris Herman
tried it with two strikes, two outs. Not good.
And the game was about to end. But I'm a rookie, so what do I know about when to get a story in? Chris Herman was in need of batting practice. He's coming back up from Tacoma. Seattle was off that day, and he wanted to take batting practice at at Safeco. And they talked to Jerry Dipoto, and they said, hey, nobody's around. Jerry said, I'll throw to him. And so Jerry went down there and threw BP to Chris Herman.
Jerry Dipoto, the GM of
Jerry Dipoto,
Seattle.
the GM of the Seattle Mariners. And afterward, Chris Herman said, man, he goes, you throw really good BP. He goes, did you pitch in college? And Jerry kind of smiled at him. He goes, yeah, it's been a while, though. He goes, when did you go to college? He goes, well, I finished in the late 80s. He said, oh, man. He goes, you're in great shape still. Wow. And you throw good BP. And they got hung up. Good job by Tony. And Walters drops it. And they still have Gamble tied up. This is starting to look like a Little League rundown. I don't know, everybody got involved except the 3 outfielders. Cargo's giving him a standing ovation.
But Gerardo was in second base just in case.
And that's the right move. There's always somewhere to go. Gerardo came all the way in. He goes, I was going to get the put out.
And let's go. He's trying to give signs right now.
He wants to stay in the infield.
Here we go. Okay, here's the drop, and then did the right thing. Don't panic. Just start this whole thing over again. But get out of the way.
Trevor wants to catch him.
Yes. That's the key in a rundown, though. You got to get the guy running full speed. You can't have him jockeying back and forth. I'm waiting for all the putouts and assists here.
And the 0-2 pitch is hit into right center. So how big is that now? Herman is going to have at least 2. He's hunting a 3-bagger right now, and he's going to have a triple. Pretty close play. Good relay. Turns into a really big out on the bases.
Oh, Herman, that is just his 7th hit on the year. Now 7 for 28. And this is just the big gap, and then the headfirst dive on the Subaru Supermo. It's close, though, over at third. Good relay from Trevor.
It's his first triple in a couple of years. And Jeff Hoffman, I think, wants that pitch back. That was the middle part of the plate on a 0-2 pitch. Now Bergman at the plate. And the Rockies, because it's a pitcher, even though they're up by a couple runs, they're going to come into 3 depth, as you always call it.
Yeah, I like this. Don't automatically concede the run.
Hard shot, base hit. Bergman drives in Chris Herman, and it's 4-3.
He didn't wait around and went after that first pitch. 84-mile-an-hour slider. That was just a spinner. It backed up on him, and that'll be it tonight for Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah, a little disappointing here. Working in the bottom third of the order. Gives up a hit to Gamble, a triple to Herman, and a base hit to Bergman. We'll finish that Chris Herman story at some point. 4-3.
Your attention. Now pitching for the Rockies.
available. Bookmark Rockies.com/specials and check back throughout the season. Oh, glorious sunset over the Rocky Mountains. And the Rockies are ahead 4-3 as D. Gordon will come to the plate against Harrison Musgrave.
Yeah, I think pretty clearly, after the 3 hits, Buddy Black said, you know what, third time through, not gonna have it happen for Hoffman, and we're gonna flip it over to the bullpen. So Harrison Musgrave, who's pitched very well for the Rockies, the league hitting just 196, will come on. 1 out with D. Gordon at the plate.
Of the 19 ball games for Harrison, 11 times he's worked more than 1 inning, so it's not uncommon for him.
First pitch misses. All right, to finish the Herman story. So DePoto's throwing to him, and he said to him, man, you throw pretty well. You pitch in college. Finally, after that, one of the other guys who was there, was an assistant trainer, went up to him and said, pitched 8 years in the big leagues. And so Chris Herman was a pretty good sport about it. He went over to Jerry, who's general manager, and he said, I probably should have known that, shouldn't I?
Well, not only
Jerry,
that,
Jerry's such a great guy. He's like, don't worry about it. Before you were born, maybe.
But still, I think you got to know somebody in the front, especially your GM.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of history about what he did.
I just love the story. Hey, you're pretty good.
You're not bad.
Yeah.
You're not bad.
That's good BP you're throwing. 2 balls and a strike on D. Gordon. Infield hit and a run scored in the first. Robbed of a hit by DJ in the second. DJ almost robbed him on that infield hit also. Bergman's at first with 1 out. And D. Gordon hits this in the air toward right center. Cargo comes on and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Hey, did you ever give the scoring for that rundown?
Oh yeah. So you ready? For those folks at home that couldn't keep up, like us, here you go.
Okay.
2, 3, 6, 2, twice because he bobbled. 4, DJ involved. Back to Trevor, 6. And let's get it to Nolan to get the 2, 3, 6, 2, 4, 6, 5, which was also my locker combination in high school.
8675309.
Well,
right?
I called that number in high school too. Got a busy signal. Gamble's still smiling. He goes, I was in the rundown. That's the longest rundown in baseball this year. Segura takes high, ball 1. Pitch.
Put the knees on that Subaru strike zone.
2-1 on Segura. Rockies up 4-3. They were down 2-0. That's low. 3-1. To DJ. In the inning, there was a triple by Chris Herman with 1 out. Bergman brought him home. So it's a 1-run game, 4-3 Colorado. is brought to you by Mako. That should have counted a couple of times. That 472-foot home run by Ian Desmond. The Rockies have been playing long ball all week, taking 2 out of 3 from Arizona. Cargo had a big week and continues to have a big week. So on Wednesday, here's some of the stats. We're still reviewing it. 19 runs, second in team history to 20 they've done 3 times. For the first time, 3 players in the same game scored 4 times or more. There were a couple players with 5 ribbies. Cargo had 6, Desi had 5. That's the 8th time in Rockies history. 5 home runs a season high. And don't forget, Herman hit a home run off Daniel Descalso. The first time a pitcher hit a home run off a position player since 1986. Was it Dane Org or Garth Org? It was Dane Org who hit the homer, and it was off of
Mike Lacoste.
Michael Lacoste. Okay. This is popped up in tough area. This could be a problem. No, sliding catch made by Denard Span to rob Tony Walters. 1 out.
We closed on that.
Now batting number 59.
This is a good pickup for Seattle. Getting Denard. He still play the outfield. He's hitting over 300 since he started wearing a Mariners uniform. I always admired the way he played the game.
I think you're right. I mean, he's a professional in every aspect. He's great in the clubhouse. Those are the kind of like names that get moved in and around the trade deadline typically that maybe don't get the top of the marquee, but they're big moves. And I applaud Jerry Dipoto for making that move in May, because Denard Span's a winning player.
Yes, he is.
0-2 on Harrison Musgrave. And Musgrave deep in the hole to Segura, and he's going to throw him out. Good play by Segura. 2 outs, and that'll bring up DJ, the birthday boy.
Number 9, DJ LeMahieu.
I see what DJ's doing. I was wondering what's taking so long. He's slow playing this, allowing Harrison to get back to the dugout so he can sit down and get a sip of water after running down to first. Because I was thinking, man, this needs to speed up a little bit. Something's going on. But now I see why he did it.
A reminder, after this half inning, we'll take a quick break and then go to the Rockies dugouts. Friday night, Buddy Black will join us. Get his perspective on this game thus far. Something to take in between pitches, huh? 2-1.
Nightly occurrence here.
The nice thing about this month of July, Huey, is that the Rockies are going to get to entertain their great fans quite a bit. They're at home a ton in July. This is to Seager, and it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Bergman. We'll go to the 5th. The Rockies lead 4-3. Buddy Black is 1 minute away. approach against kind of a soft tossing righty who you know well, and Christian Bergman?
Yeah, we're staying on the ball. We're not overly aggressive and not out front, Drew. Trevor, great swing, stayed back and drove it up the middle. Charlie stayed back enough to drive the ball in the bullpen. Desi, opposite field hit. Parra, opposite field hit. So, no doubt, you're right on there. Good approach by the guys.
Yeah, and for Jeff Hoffman, gave up a couple of these scratch singles to start this ball game, and then had a couple innings that weren't too bad, but that last inning, the bottom portion of the lineup just couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, there was a little bit of both for Jeff. Showed a couple good curveballs for strikeouts. You're right, you were the soft hits to start the first, well placed. The air sort of got back to him, but you know, Jeff was in and out of the zone, but you know, got us into the fourth inning after, you know, just a couple of AAA starts.
All right, hey buddy, go win the rest of the innings.
You got it. Okay, guys.
Thanks,
All
buddy.
right, take care. So Buddy Black's perspective on the first half of the ball game as we go to the fifth. Mitch Haniger, Kyle Seager, Denard Span against Harrison Musgrave. 3, 4, and 5 for Seattle, and that pitch is outside, so it's 2-0. Haniger, an RBI single in the first on a line drive to right, and one of those curveballs that Buddy was describing from Jeff Hoffman struck out Haniger. And that's off the plate. 3-0. Buddy is fond of saying when you have a leadoff walk, his way of describing it oftentimes is, well, we had a leadoff walk there. That's not recommended. And
I think you just saw the frustration.
Yeah, he just tossed something down because leadoff walks are not recommended. So Haniger's up there with Seager at the plate.
Frame from Tony at the knees. Subaru strike zone. I think Seager's mentioning something to the home plate umpire. He didn't agree with it, but it was a strike.
And Tony, we've talked about it many times. He's as good as anybody at stealing a lot of pitches, but particularly the low strike, because he works ground up. And so many catchers are taking that pitch down out of the zone as opposed to raising it. This is double play ball. Whoa, he didn't get out of the box. Seager went down. He literally got one step out of the box. That made it really easy. He's okay, but the Rockies get a couple outs.
Remember in Seattle the other day on a backhand ball down the line, he slipped and fell? You might want to try some new spikes, because that's just kind of Fred Flintstone that coming out of the box. So the feet are moving, he's not going anywhere.
Looks like he's wearing metal too.
Sometimes even the metal ones will wear down.
4-6-3. Denard Span comes up, single and a strikeout for Span.
It's a 96th double play on the season for the Rockies.
Span hitting right at 400 the last 10 games. Shows you how much confidence Buddy has now in Harrison Musgrave. He's using him in a couple of different areas, and this is a huge one. You're talking about a tight game, middle innings. You know, he's going to have an opportunity to win this game because Hoffman went just 3 1/3. Obviously, there's a long way to go, but
well, the other thing too is to provide multiple innings. I mean, that is the key. When Harrison came in, there was just one out in the 4th inning. Now he's at 18 pitches. The chance on this 19th pitch to be done with the 5th.
Madison had a terrific career in the Big 12, pitching at West Virginia and Morgantown.
Split change grip. He always kind of starts with that, and then he'll change if he needs to.
Two and two. The line on Hoffman, by the way, 3 1/3, 3 runs, all earned, 8 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts for Jeff tonight. And a spot start for Antonio Senzatella. And a bouncing ball to Desmond. That's a tough pickup. Nice job by Desi. He knew he had to be aggressive coming to get that before he was going to walk into an in-between hop. When we come back, Charlie Blackmon, he have a home run earlier in the ball game, will lead it off. In lower downtown Denver. Look at that shot. Rockies leading 4-3. They were down 2-0 after a half inning. Charlie Blackmon got a run back in the bottom of the first with a long home run to right center, his 19th. He's 1 for 2. Takes ball 1. Third time through. The lineup now for Christian Bergman.
That's where you hope they can get after Christian, because if you're Scott Service, you're thinking if he can slide out of this with just giving up 4 runs in 5 innings, he'd be happy with it being a spot start.
This ball ripped to right. This will be a good start to the inning for the Rockies. That crashes off the scoreboard. Charlie into second with a double. For Charlie, his 11th double of the year.
It almost knocked some of the numbers off the auxiliary scoreboard. Fastball, he goes down and gets it, powers that ball. Got some top spin on it. You get the top hand through. Sometimes that ball acts like it's diving at the end. Doesn't get the loft and the lift that you need, but still 105 miles an hour off the bat. And that's where it hit. Almost knocked the 6 in Cleveland out of there.
Don't do that, then they'd lose the game.
Oh, they're not credited already?
I don't know. Depends if it got to the commissioner's office yet. Nolan's 0 for 2, line to third his last time. And this is a ground ball deep short. And now Charlie goes late, and they're going to get it. Charlie tried to wait, and read that on the throw, and he broke right before Segura let it go, and Segura was able to get the baseball to Seager, who recovered.
And I think Segura really wasn't intending to throw to first, use it more of a decoy because of where it was hit. After the dive by Seager, Segura comes up, and then he knows I don't have Nolan at first, and Charlie thought he was going to throw it, and instead Segura ate it, and then get the lead off or get that runner at third.
Yeah, that's a heck of a break for Seattle.
Sunday, July 15th, 2 days from now, is Military Appreciation Day at Coors Field, and the first 15,000 fans through the gates will receive a Military Appreciation hat courtesy of Avalanche Harley and KOA News Radio.
James Pazos has gotten up, lefty for Seattle. Is he going to be ready in time? That's why they're trying to slow play it. But I'm sure they want him to throw to Carlos Gonzalez. And you talk about a guy who can get ready in a hurry. He took like 6 pitches down in the bullpen, and here he comes. So Bergman gone after 4 1/3, with the Rockies ahead 4-3. When we come back, Pazos in to face Cargo.
Your attention.
West Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. That's water with the sun shining. Those are happy kids with Dad.
They have ice cream.
And they're good Rockies fans.
Decked out.
And that's a good brother. He held the ice cream for his brother. James Pazos, the league hitting in the low 200s against him. Lefties at 200, righties at 235. He's on for the 37th time. Cargo swinging the bat great. A double and a walk and a run scored tonight.
2-pitch pitcher is James Pazos. Fastball 94 to 96 miles an hour. Slider is 79 to 81. And against lefties, he is primarily fastball about 86% of the time. He'll come right after you.
And that pitch is up, ball 1. And a swinging bunt, and you know what? They're not going to get Cargo. That was interesting because Pazos was in position to grab it, and I think he was concerned about Chris Herman grabbing the baseball. He hesitated, and once he hesitated, they weren't going to get Carlos.
No, it's the old swinging bunt. If he doesn't get it on the second hop, but he waited back on that like an infielder waiting for a hop, and then it never did. And so he has to rush the throw. Good pick at first from Ryan Healy. Cargo with 2 hits on the day, 3rd time on base.
And now here's Story, who last time up hit one 422 feet over the center field wall. A 2-run home run to give the Rockies at the time a 4-2 lead. 19 home runs, 65 driven in. In the air, right center field. This one's going to stay in the ballpark. Nolan tags and moves up 90 feet. And there are 2 outs, first and third. And Gerardo Parra will come up. Seems like every time Gerardo's come up of late with runners in scoring position, there are 2 outs, and we get to brag on him, how well he's hit this year in the clutch with runners in scoring position. There's an opportunity here to expand the Rockies' lead. Parra a double and a walk tonight. Tell you what, Denard Span in left field is really shortened up. And the reason I say that is Gerardo hits the ball to left a fair amount.
We had the double to left earlier.
Yeah, that was more in the corner, but we've seen, you know, Gerardo hit the ball, you know, to deep left, and that's as shallow. That's like for a pitcher where Span is playing. Two strikes. Kind of true to the scouting report you mentioned, Huey. It's been the hard stuff against
Left
Gerardo.
on left. Yeah, left on left. He'll throw a slider, but just 13% of the time. So if you're Gerardo, say, well, he's showing me two fastballs, one high, one low on the Subaru strike zone. I'm still looking for another one.
And this is fisted to the left side, base hit, right scores. Cargo will go first to third. How about that, Gerardo Parra?
The average is going to go up because prior to that hit, he was hitting .455 with the runner at third base this year. How about that? 0-2 pitch, he fights it off. Cargo's running on the pitch. In on the hands, inside out swing. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Segura had moved a couple steps towards second because Cargo is running. He can't get back there. The Rockies get one of those runs back. Another 2-out RBI for Gerardo.
And now here's Ian Desmond hitting .283 against lefties. That's big in so many ways. Clearly, anytime there's 2 outs and you get a ribby, big. But the fact that the inning started with a double by Charlie, and then you're thinking, man, the Rockies may not get a run out of this deal.
When Scott goes to the left-hander to try to get Cargo, and it happens where Cargo gets a swinging bunt, and then it gets Trevor out, so he's like, okay, I got left the matchup I won again, left on left. Well, instead, Gerardo comes through.
Five-3 Colorado, first and third. Desmond a single and a fly ball to right. Look out. Taylor,
you okay?
I was heading your direction.
Oh man, that was scary. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stay below the fence level.
And behind that little wall down there.
Tell Bo to make a play.
If it's a tennis ball, Bo would.
Bo bring his racket, swat that ball back into action. Runner going, 0-2, base hit the other way. Here comes Cargo. Parra will go first to third. Rockies lead 6-3. Another RBI for Ian Desmond, his 55th. Nothing will make your night finer than 2 out RBIs.
And you have a couple of them this inning. Again, you put the runner in motion. Ian goes where the hole is vacated, drives in a run, and you keep the merry-go-round going. First and third. First and third.
Now here's Tony. Ball 1. 2 big runs here in the bottom of the 5th for the Rockies.
And as you said a moment ago, Drew, too, if you're Seattle, you're thinking, oh, we're going to get out of this. We're only going to trail 4-3. Not so fast.
Desmond takes off. They got no shot at getting him. He steals the bag standing up.
That's his 11th. Rockies as a team, number 49.
Tony's got a 2-0 count to work with. And a ground ball up the middle, base hit. That's going to bring 2 home. Paul scores. Desmond scores. Oh, the 2-out knocks keep coming. Make it 8-3 Colorado.
3 RBIs tonight for Tony. Now 2-0 count. It's a base hit up the middle. And because of the stolen base by Ian Desmond, the bench loves it.
Tony 3 bags, as you said, with the 3 ribbies. There's so many ways we can go with Tony now.
Yeah.
Tony 3 ribby.
How
3 ribs.
How about every left-hander for James Pazos? Base hit, base hit, base hit.
Five runs scored tonight for Colorado with 2 outs. Here's Musgrave. Mike Morin, who was just called back to the big leagues today when James Paxton was placed on the disabled list. Paxton pitched yesterday for Seattle. They got blown out 11-2. The ace of the Mariners. Paxton had a stiff back when he was warming up in the bullpen. Went out in the first inning, gave up a couple of runs, including a home run to Albert Pujols, and just felt like he just couldn't continue. So he came out of the game in the first inning. They put him on the DL. They don't think it's going to be a lengthy stay. In fact, they think he's going to start the 4th game after the break. So they're going to use the weekend, the All-Star break, and next weekend, and then they'll get him back in the rotation. Felix Hernandez was supposed to start tonight. That's why Christian Bergman started. They're going to push Hernandez back also.
Well, they'd moved Paxton up a day because of the numbers the Angels have against lefties. So that's why he went, but he only went 17 pitches last night. A lot of moving parts.
Well, a lot of moving parts for the Rockies as the base runners flying around. Everybody involved. The Rockies up 8-3, go to the 6th. is our CenturyLink high-speed challenge question for the evening. As always, go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. And as always, we'll show you during the Twitter postgame show the results. Would you like to see the DH when American League teams visit Coors Field? And we ask that frequently, but Nelson Cruz is an all-star. Nelson Cruz is one of the most prolific offensive players in the American League. And good news for the Rockies. Nelson Cruz, other than pinch hitting duties, is not going to play in this series because they're worried about him, you know, getting injured at 38. The legs are a little more fragile at his age. Last year he had some calf problems, some ankle problems. So you understand Scott Service, even though Nelson Cruz is chomping at the bit to swing the bat as he would be at any time, but especially at Coors Field. But Scott Service said, my eye has to be on the, not on the battle, but on winning the war and thinking of the second half, and I cannot risk getting him hurt.
Yeah, so you miss him for 3 games, or if he pulls a calf, 3 weeks. I mean, that's the dilemma, manager. And I know there were some people in Seattle just reading the papers and doing all that. They were like, "Oh man, he's got to play him. He has to play him." What's he thinking?
Healy hits the ball pretty well to right. Ricardo will retreat and make the catch. 1 out. 1 out, and that'll bring up the center fielder tonight, Ben Gamble. And here's what they're missing. Cruz is hitting .266, but he has 22 home runs. He's driven in 55. He's slugging .538. He has an OPS over 900.
You know what it's like? It'd be like taking Nolan out of the lineup.
It's a big, strong bat that every team fears.
But to get back to that poll question, no, I would not like to see the DH, because you build your club around your personnel.
Here's the 0-1 on Gamble, and that's a strike. 0-2. Well, this is a question that's been brought up every year since interleague play started more than 20 years ago. And wouldn't it be nice for the fans in the cities that don't see the DH actually to see the DH? Charlie lays out, can't get there, and Gamble is going to scoot into second with a double. Good effort by Charlie. But get back to that question. So on one hand, it's nice for the fans, but then you take away the advantage of how your ball club is comprised based on what you're saying in your home yard, because you're used to having the pitcher and that sort of thing.
So then all of a sudden you're putting the home team at a disadvantage, I think. So that's why for me, I don't play it that way. I would not like to see that rule implemented. Because the home team's supposed to have the advantage, right?
You would hope, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what the split is with people who follow the game closely. How many would like to see the DH in the National League, and how many are, more traditionalists like us that like the fact that the leagues, the main difference between the leagues is one has it, one does not. That is caught by Desmond. Herman hit it pretty sharply. 2 outs. Guillermo Heredia is going to be the pinch hitter here for Pazos.
I know how you feel. You and I are the same way. I like the strategy in the National League.
I do. I really do. Doesn't mean you always love when a pitcher comes up and takes 3 feeble swings, but I also like when you have a club where that rotation, like the Rockies, takes great pride in trying to help out the club offensively. You've seen Herman, who's had a great year. He's hitting over 300, hit the home run the other day. Tyler Anderson, Kyle Freeland, they all give you competitive at bats.
The double switches, how your bench is comprised, just so many more, I think, thought process that go into what happens.
Ground ball, DJ, is he going to steal another hit? Oh, that's an easy one.
Tell me if you've seen that before.
That's 3 times in the game he's had to make that diving, sliding play to his right. Male of the Gold Glove right now. He's earned it yet again. He is amazing. Performance. We didn't have an opportunity to televise the game yesterday, but guess what? Kyle Freeland was great again. When he pitches, the other team really doesn't score, do they? 5 1/3, a run on 6 hits. Pitch count got him a little bit in the 6th. But that ERA every time out keeps going down.
I thought one of the parts of the game yesterday, as we see his numbers from the first half, 115 2/3, 8 wins. His ERA even lower at Coors Field, as you see at the bottom, 276, a 121 win. But yesterday, gave up that leadoff triple and then strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. They didn't score.
He's among the league leaders in a number of categories. That's why he may not be going to the All-Star game, but he had an All-Star quality first half. Here's an All-Star, DJ LeMahieu, lining one in the gap in right center, a leadoff double for DJ. That's how he greets Mike Morin. First pitch from Morin in his return to the big leagues.
He just says, wait, I've got 3 at-bats without a hit. It's the 3rd game of the season. Just also was up June 8th through the 14th. Down in Tacoma, he was 3-2 with 3 saves and a 3.60 ERA. And he's got some big league times, not only with Seattle. You got the Angels, Kansas City.
Yeah, he's been in 186 big league games. Chapel Hill guy. Played for Coach Fox, North Carolina. Charlie's got a home run tonight and a double, and it just missed one to center field. 8-3 Rockies. LeMahieu on his birthday, a leadoff double. 1-1. 2 strikes on Chuck Nasty. Rockies, winners of 10 of their last 13, began the day 3 games off the pace in the congested NL West. Like he held up.
With the Dodgers overtaking Arizona.
Yeah, for the first time this year by percentage points, the Dodgers are in first place over Arizona. The Rockies and Giants are tied up 3 back.
Arizona is leading Atlanta currently 2-1 in the 9th inning.
Inside. Full count. Charlie, good series against Arizona, 5 for 12. 4 driven in, including a home run. He's got a home run tonight. 3-2.
Pulled the string big time. Well, the first 20,000 fans through the gates tomorrow will receive a Nolan Arenado walk-off cycle bobblehead courtesy of King Supers. We got the preview of this one.
See, this is what I'm not going to do right now.
What are you
I'm not going to bobble his head.
No, but you're blocking
Oh,
the
I'm
view.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not going to bobble his head because you want a quiet head when you're at the plate.
that's right. You don't want a whole lot of head movement.
Don't bobble his head. You put him down
Gently. There.
better.
I got it set down nice and smooth. It's going to translate to Nolan in the box right now with a nice smooth swing.
There's the 1-0 to Nolan, who's 0 for 3. And he hits it what are we doing on the bases there?
That's twice tonight.
DJ's normally an outstanding base runner. Hard in front, you don't cross over.
No, and especially this one, because you got nowhere to go, and it's an easy pitch and catch for the shortstop and the third baseman.
It's 2 outs. The Rockies have made 6-5.
Yeah, you know, I understand a little bit better with Charlie because he was assuming that Segura was going to throw to first, and then he got caught. That one was just a mistake by DJ. And you can say that about 3 times a year for DJ. And that's it.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much. 3 even, probably a stretch.
Yeah, it could be a lot. But that one was.
Cargo tonight, double, walk, infield single, 2 runs scored. (2-0) on Cargo, who's hit in 9 of the 10 games he's played in the month of July. The 2-homer game on Wednesday for Cargo, the 21st time in his career he's hit at least 2 in a game. And a big bouncing ball to Segura. He didn't get him. This could be another leg hit.
I know we say it a lot, but he's running so much better this year. I mean, this ball to beat out on a 2-hopper. Now, Segura And a double clutch. Watch him double clutch to get this baseball in the Subaru Supermo. So he catches it. Uh-oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. That extra little shuffle that he did allowed Carlos to beat this out. Third hit tonight for Cargo.
I'm going to tell a little secret here. It's been a few years, but when Walt Weiss was the manager of the Rockies early on in his tenure, he talked to Carlos, and what I'm about to say, Hugh, you know this to be true. And it's not unusual for big sluggers, if they hit the ball on the ground, it's kind of a routine ground ball, to give it about 75–80% up the line, and it's okay. It's looked upon as okay by teammates for the most part, and the front offices, because they do so much and they're out there every day, that okay, the hard 90, we'll take the 80%. We understand. We don't want to see you getting hurt trying to leg out a two-hopper to second.
Yeah.
Well, Walt talked to him and he said, we're a young team. There's a lot of impressionable guys, and I need you to set the standard. And Cargo said, I got it, no problem. And if you remember, this ball's unloaded the gap in right center. Trevor's going to get some more ribbies. Nolan scores. Cargo gets a green light. He's going to score easily. 2 more ribbies for Trevor Story. 4 tonight. 67 on the season. And the Rockies running away from the Mariners on a Friday night in Lodo. They're up 10-3.
How about another couple 2-out RBIs tonight? Trevor using right center field. We had a home run that traveled 422 feet. This one 107 miles an hour off the bat for a double. And for Trevor, double number 27.
Here's Parr. So to finish that story, so Walt, it wasn't a challenge. He said, I need you to set the standard. And Cargo said, I got it. And from that spring training on, you think about the last 4 or 5 years, Cargo runs out everything hard.
They took it to heart. That's what leaders do. They take what the manager wants implemented.
And guys who hit 30, 40 home runs a year, guys who've been big stars, as I said, it's looked upon. It's okay when you're running out there 150+ games a year. You kind of get a pass a little bit if you hit a routine ground ball and you're not trying to run an open 60.
Yeah, but Cargo, because he sniffed that hit and he's running hard, gets it. The Rockies get 2 more RBIs. Trevor Story is going to, first thing he's going to do is say, hey, Cargo, thanks, man. You extended that inning.
And having an impression on young players, go back to Story's rookie year. How many shots did we have from our crew of Cargo with his arm around Trevor in the dugout?
Oh.
Right? It was like every night.
Every night.
One and 2 on Parra. And this is guided to D. Gordon. That'll end the inning, but the Rockies strike again. Trevor Story with 2 outs. 10-3, Colorado. Well, pay attention to this. This is fascinating. Trevor Story, 2-run home run. Earlier in the game, gave the Rockies a 4-2 lead. And then moments ago, he unloads a 2-run double to deep right center field. Do you know that Trevor Story's 67 RBIs, D. Gordon takes ball 1, 67 RBIs before the break, is the most ever by a National League shortstop. Travis Jackson, the Hall of Famer in 34, drove in 62 before the break. That's a National League record by 5. 1 out as Nolan throws out Gordon. It's not a major league record. There have been several shortstops in the American League who produced more. A-Rod for one, Vern Stevens, Miguel Tejada, Joe Cronin, Carlos Guillen, Nomar Garcia-Parra. But in the National League, the 67 RBIs, the most ever in the first half by a shortstop.
As an ever.
As an ever. And it's by a lot. And, you know, he may be above 70. In fact, he may be above 70 by the end of the night. But certainly maybe by the end of the weekend. And you know what? If you go back to 2016, his freshman year, he had 56 RBIs, which, along with Troy Tulowitzki in 2011, that's the 6th most, actually 57 RBIs. That's the 6th most ever by a shortstop before the break.
Thankfully, he's going to the All-Star game. I mean, to me, there was no doubt he was going to go, but he had to be voted in, and rightfully so.
3-0 on Gene Segura. Ball 4. One of the many wonderful things about this game that we all enjoy so much, we have an ongoing love affair with, is when you see a player who's really talented, uber talented, as is Trevor Story, and yet he gets better before your eyes. And that's what we've witnessed from Trevor Story.
Working on the things that he needed to work on, cutting down on the strikeouts. Defense has always been there, and that's one thing I've talked about before, and I talked to Trevor this offseason about it. I was always proud of the way he went about his defense, even when there was some strikeouts, even when you know it was wearing on him. He never drug his bat out to the field.
You ever saw him in a batting stance, which is Cardinals sit out in the field?
I've seen other guys do it. I probably did it a time or two myself, but he never did it. Nobody on the phone, because Harrison Musgrave, you know, kind of lost in all this offense is the job he's done, and he's at 37 pitches. So you know why you're going to get that call down there, and more than likely it's going to be Chris Russin. I think Harrison's starting to try to, I don't want to say lose a little bit, but the legs are starting to go. He's had three innings now.
That's in there. 2-1. Just missed, man. That's right on that corner. 3-1 on Mitch Haniger. Single, strikeout, and a walk. One other note on Trevor Story tonight, that double, Huey, his 50th extra base hit. And he came into the ball game second in the National League in extra base hits. That's another walk. So now there's 2 on with Kyle Seager coming up, and see if Buddy lets him go left on left here, or brings in the other lefty in Russin. Got Seager to bounce into a 4-6-3 in the 5th inning.
He's going to try to give him this hitter in hopes that he does do what he did in the 5th. Round into another one.
The 50 extra base hits for Story. The 8th time a Rocky has produced 50 extra base hits before the break. He's just not getting that pitch call.
No,
I mean,
that was in the Subaru strike zone.
And again, Musgrave, like most pitchers, is he's working edges up and down, east and west, and it seems like he's touching that inside corner, just not getting rewarded.
And two, the very first pitch to Seager, turns it around to 1-0 count. He's too good of a hitter to have any advantage.
Seager a double in the 3rd inning. Hoffman left him stranded. Again, Jeff Hoffman making the start on short notice for Antonio Senzatella. Another blister situation. Chad Bettis has it. He's got an infection inside that blister. Doesn't sound like fun. There's a strike at the bottom of the zone, 1-2.
I talked to Antonio about it, and he said that he kind of just woke up with it yesterday where it was infected. It felt like he couldn't hardly sleep Wednesday night because you know how we've all been there where it feels like you got a heartbeat in one of your fingers or your toes. Something happens. That's what he felt like with his finger. He just didn't really get any rest, and it really swelled up on him.
This is a base hit to center field, and coming around to score is Gene Segura. I'm sure that'll be the end of the line for Musgrave, who's really pitched well. Buddy has got 1 foot on the dirt. Job well done tonight by Harrison Musgrave. 10-4 when we come back. Those 3 innings and really calms the ball game down, gave the Rockies an opportunity to blow it open offensively. Got to have a couple of those guys down in the pen, and Musgrave's in position to get a W tonight. And hand it off to another guy that has filled that role many times over the last couple of years in Chris Russing. So here's the numbers on Musgrave. He is responsible for the 2 guys aboard.
And in for Harrison, that was yeoman's work there with the 45 pitches in the 3+ innings. Chris Russing pitched in yesterday's ball game, 2/3 of an inning, clean across the board. Get another left-hander and Span.
Russell will face Denard Span, 1 for 3 tonight.
Span's had some success against Chris. 8 for 16.
Well, it's going to be better than that now. 9 for 17. He's going to get 2 runs home here. And Span is thinking 3. He's got himself a triple. And all of a sudden, yeah, it's a game again.
Well, unfortunately, too, it adds a couple more earned runs to Harrison's line. 3rd triple this season for Denard Span, and he hits it into that long alley in right center field, and that's going to be it for Chris.
Ten to 6. Some of the pictures on our Cooney Lexus look back. Well, the Rockies had a sizable lead, but 3 here in the 7th, and it's 10 to 6 now. And with 1 out after the triple by Span, he's only 90 feet away. Ryan Healy will face Scott Oberg.
Another one of the Rockies pitchers who pitched yesterday, 2/3 of an inning, had a strikeout.
Good fastball, foul tip, 0-1. Two. Punch out be huge here,
like
and
that.
He gets one.
Good call, Drew.
Oberg gets Healy for out number 2. Not out of the wilderness yet. You have Ben Gamble coming up from the left side.
Scott and his slider, sometimes it act like a curveball. It's so hard, and as the bite to it gets Healy Really reaching for that pitch.
Gamble tonight, a single and a double, robbed of a hit his first time up by LeMahieu. That prevented Seattle from scoring 3 in the first inning. They had a 2-0 lead after a half inning.
Also had that review too, so originally he was called safe. It went to the review and it was out.
A 1 on Gamble, outside. Would be big here, Huey, if Scott can get Gamble, prevent Span from scoring, and keep it a 4-run lead.
Well, it always goes back to that grand slam total. I mean, that's what managers are looking at.
And this is going to be tough play. Story didn't get him. Trevor finished that play right about a step from the right field line. Gamble out of the left side of the box, runs well.
And it just took him an extra second to get rid of it. He is safe. Just because he had to catch it, a little stumble. But when you're fielding the ball almost at DJ's position, when it's all said and done, and DJ and Trevor did that right, where DJ goes behind the shortstop because that angle. The shortstop always tries to cut in front of the second baseman.
It's good for kids to hear, Huey. Let you repeat that for kids to play in the middle infield.
Yeah, so anytime a ball's right up the middle, the second baseman will take the more outward route towards the outfield. The shortstop will try to cut in front of him because it'll be an easier, better throw for him. So that was textbook right there, what Trevor did. They just didn't get the runner at first, but the mechanics of it were right.
Just kind of peek and see the line that the shortstop's on if you're the second baseman.
If you're the second baseman, and then you end up probably 3 or 4 feet behind him in your route, or 1 step as you're running.
Nelson Cruz has come out on deck. 2 strikes on Herman. Is that just off the plate? Yeah, Subaru strike zone. It's a good call by the home plate umpire, Jansen Visconti. Well, you knew Cruz would show up at some point in a competitive game, and it looks like Scott Service wants to use him here. It makes sense because if he comes up, he'd be the tying run.
Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't come up.
2-2. It was 10-3 a few minutes ago.
And with 1 out. And then was walk, base hit, triple.
Infield hit.
Yeah.
2-2. Oberg trying to get Chris Herman. The line on Musgrave, a little misleading. He got painted up. 3 innings, 3 runs, just 2 hits. 3 walks, 2 came in this 7th inning. He looked like he fatigued a little bit. Russell, through 1 pitch, he gives up a run. 2-2. And that should have been strike 3. That's clearly in the zone. Oberg taking off his hat as if to say, come on, I got to have that.
Yeah. I think the home plate umpire flinched when the partial swing from Herman. Can't miss those.
It's too good a pitch. Scott got the win yesterday. Remember when Freeland left the game, he was down 1-0 to Robbie Ray. In fact, the last couple of outings for Kyle Freeland, he's given up just 1 run each time, but got no decisions. And Scott Oberg ended up getting the victory both times. Swung on and missed. Goldberg punches out Herman. But a big inning for Seattle. They get back in the game with 4 runs. Stretch time at Coors Field, it's 10-7. Eclipse the 7-run mark, so make your way to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special with Moss and Taco Bell. With Taylor McGregor and Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies up 10-7 as they get ready to go offensively in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Morin, who gave up a couple runs in the 6th, still out there for a 2nd inning of work. Ian Desmond, Tony Walters, and then perhaps a pinch hitter. Desi's done damage tonight. 2 for 3, 2 sharp singles. An RBI, stolen base, a run scored. Kind of a normal night at the office these days for Desi.
Yeah, up to 228 batting average.
So the Rockies have won 4 straight series, and all 4 series have come against high-quality opponents, teams above 500, including the Mariners last weekend in Seattle.
Well, it started with that Dodgers series where they took 2 out of 3
in LA.
In LA, and they came home and swept San Francisco. 2 out of 3 in San Francisco, and then we know what they did against Arizona. After losing the first night, coming back and winning the next 2.
And Morin strikes out Desmond. 1 out. Walters will come up.
See who comes to the on-deck circle. I think Tapia would be the guy that would come out. Adam Ottavino warming up in the bullpen. It is Rymel.
Tony's driven in 3 tonight. Tony's come on offensively.
Three triples in the last week.
Stole that off the internet. For nice Twitter followers, came up with Tony 3 bags. We can thank that individual.
Yes,
And
we've run with it.
Taken it and copyrighted it. Kidding. 1-0.
what you would expect on the spray chart from Tony. Up the middle, a little bit more on the pull side with that 34%, but still 27% from shortstop over to third.
Whoa, he's punched out. How many strikes are there? And, you know, they're giving him a hard time right now because Jason Visconti was getting ready to do his called strike 3. He realized midway that was just strike 2. Embarrassing moment, but it happens. 1 and 2.
You heard somebody from behind home plate yell out, "Call that a strike."
13 hits for the Rockies. Seattle has 12 now. Yeah, we just showed the shift in the percentage of where the baseballs off the bat in the infield have gone for Tony Walters. A lot of times people bring up, well, you know, if they see that shift, why don't they just, you know, utilize the other side of the field, as if it's, you know, almost a video game. It's not easy to do. There's a great piece written not too long ago that asked some terrific left-handed hitters, Matt Carpenter, Daniel Murphy. Murphy, when healthy, is always among the league leaders in hitting, about that. And Huey, you can describe it. It's not easy when guys are throwing 95, even if they're throwing 85, to go, okay, I'm going to manipulate the bat and hit it here.
It's easier at 85 than 95, but it's still not easy.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes the pitcher dictates. You know, if they're pitching the inside, it's hard every single time to try to pull the hands in. Every once in a while, you've got to try to get them off coming inside on the fastball, so you'll rip one on the pull side.
And also, guess what? If it's a guy like a Cargo, or, you know, take any slugger on the left side. They're trying to, if you give him a single, the other dugout's like, oh, I'm fine with that. I'll take that. At least he's not jogging around the bases. If he wants to bunt or try to take a dramatic inside-out swing.
What I don't want to ever happen is Major League Baseball dictate that you cannot play shifts, or how you dictate how you play defensively.
Heck no.
When I read that earlier this year,
this ball's hit high in the air to fairly deep center field. It stays in the ballpark, and Gamble makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Morin. So we'll go to the 8th. The Rockies up 10-7. Adam Ottavino time when we return.
Announced for tomorrow, John Gray will be starting for the Rockies opposite Wade LeBlanc. Now, John Gray had 2 starts down in AAA, and when asked what he was working on today, he said just keeping it simple.
Listen to information and just focus on what I do best, and just kind of letting that take over. So I just haven't been really thinking about trying to create all these different things and do all these different things. I've just been kind of letting myself work the way I do.
And especially, he said, in high leverage situations to, again, just focus on what he does well and not try to do too much. Drew?
Yeah, good advice, and hopefully John takes that into the ball game and twirls a gem tomorrow against Seattle. But first things first, the Rockies need to close this one out. 6 outs to go with a 3-run lead. Adam Ottavino got 4 outs in the 5-1 victory yesterday for the Rockies over Arizona. This is Andrew Romine, who is a versatile guy who can pitch some. Andrew was in the game yesterday pitching as Seattle lost handily 11-2 in Anaheim to the Angels. I'll tell you a funny story about that. Here's the 0-1, way inside, 1-1. So Romine comes on. First guy he faces is a guy named Mike Trout. Gets him to fly out. Then he faces Albert Pujols, gets him out.
Okay.
A couple future Hall of Famers,
Yeah.
right? Then he gave up a couple runs. 2 outs, nobody on. Gets the 2 big boys.
Well, and then one of the guys that got the hit was his former teammate in Detroit, and Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, he really wanted. He might have wanted to get Kinsler more than Trout and Pujols.
That's like the other day when Nolan was talking about facing Daniel Descalso and said he was more nervous for that at bat than he has had any at bat all year long.
Yeah, that's understandable. This is pulled foul. How about that trio that you're facing there? Trout's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Pujols is a no-brainer. It's a lock if you look at Otto's numbers. League hitting just 163 against him. Ian Kinsler, when he retires, he's a borderline guy.
Yeah, his numbers for a second baseman.
For a second baseman. It's kind of like Chase Utley, who announced at the end of the season today that he will retire. 2-2 on Romine. Strike 3 inside corner. Heater at 95, 1 gone.
I think that's been part of the evolution this year for Adam. The lefties being able to throw a hip side fastball to get him to jackknife. Watch Romine jackknife. Uh-oh. Nope, that's a strike. You think it's slider, fastball. I'll go ahead and sit down. I can't really argue about that one.
So here's D. Gordon. D had an infield hit and scored a run back in the first. 1 for 4 overall. And they're going to get him again. 2 outs.
Well, fans, the MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here for $39.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale.
Gene Segura has been on twice. Single and a walk. Scored 2 runs. 1 for 3. Gene has played 22 games now at Coors Field in his career. Milwaukee, Arizona, Seattle. And he has reached in all 22 games here.
Including in 18 of those games having hits.
Yeah, he's hitting above 360 at Coors Field. Here's the 1-0 to Segura. 1-1. One other note about that Angels game yesterday in the 11-2 victory for the Angels over Seattle. Pujols hit a couple of home runs. He now has 630, which ties Ken Griffey Jr. on the all-time home run list. Give you a glance at that. Bonds, Aaron, Ruth, A-Rod, and then the Say Hey Kid. On the corner, maybe a little off. 2-2. Casey Lawrence, who just got called back to the big leagues today also for Seattle, joined by the ex-Rocky Juan Nicasio. 2-2, 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th. And Segura is gone, tied up in knots on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, quick and efficient for Adam Ottavino in the 8th. Rockies up 10-7. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by UC Health. Live extraordinary. Rockies trying to win on a Friday night. Friday the 13th. Traditionally very good on Friday the 13th. The club leads 10-7 over Arizona. And Casey Lawrence, who's now been up and down 3 times this year between Tacoma and 45 minutes away to Seattle. He just got recalled today. 5th ball game is he will face the top of the Rockies lineup. DJ on his birthday, his 30th birthday, had a double in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Here's the 0-1. Kind of slings it a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he rocks back. I was just watching his motion as he stands to the side, rocks back, more sideways than behind him to generate the movement before he goes home.
Hit the bat, so it's 1-2.
Lawrence originally signed by Toronto as a non-drafted free agent in 2010.
Do you remember last year? The Rockies saw him last year. He came in relief, and the Rockies couldn't hit him.
I can see why. He's got a little deception to him.
He pitched 5 innings of relief, and he struck out 9.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
Not going to get DJ here. Second hit for the birthday boy. Charlie's had another good ball game. Home run in the 1st, double in the 5th, 2 for 4. A strike in the middle of the plate on Blackman. time of night, we like to check the scoreboard, see what's going on. Angels and Dodgers are playing this weekend, and the Angels at Dodger Stadium leading 2-1 in the 5th. The A's and Giants play. Couple rivals there. 5th inning, 1-1. They're playing at AT&T. Rockies will see Oakland after the break. Oakland is a sneaky good team.
They are.
And they have a sneaky, really, really good bullpen.
Yeah, they're 12 games over 500 heading into tonight's play. I think we kind of forgot, or at least I did, to mention how late Seattle got in this morning. They didn't land till about 4:30 because the Angels did to them what the Dodgers always do to the Rockies. The old night game. I didn't think they could do it anymore because I asked them. They said, yeah, sometimes if it's only changing one time zone and you have a night game.
This is fisted in the middle of the diamond. Out at first base. You kidding me? That's a great play by Segura. I didn't think there was any way they were going to get him.
Well, it shows you the strength of Segura's arm. Because he was on the second base side. Get everything behind the throw. He gets Charlie by a quarter step. Had some sideways spin too, but for Segura, he made that look easy. So yeah, so that's what the Angels did to him. I didn't think they could play a night game, but they did it.
Inside on Nolan. 0 for 4 tonight. Arizona beat Atlanta in Georgia tonight 2-1. Ball and a strike on Nolan. So interleague play going on in a number of cities, and check this out. So far this year, Huey, the National League leads the American League. That's cause for celebration.
I was going to say, where's the streamers and the party hats?
It's been since 2003 the last time the National League won the season series against the American League. Now, still a long way to go this year, but right now they're ahead. The Rockies have been good in interleague play this year. Still early on. A number of more games to go against the AL.
Looking for their 5th victory tonight in the interleague department. As you said, they still have Oakland and Houston and the Angels coming up. Houston right after, that's the first homestand after the All-Star break. Quick 2-game set against the Astros.
They hold on, they go over 500 here, go to 5-4 against the American League. Playing a good division this year, playing the American League West. Houston, the defending world champs, of course, having another great year. The Mariners, one of the surprise teams in baseball, they're having a terrific year. The Angels still fighting uphill, but that's a very talented roster. They got bad news today about with Richards.
Tommy John
surgery. 2-2. And this is in the air to right center. It's going to be caught, though, by Haniger. 2 outs.
Well, as you mentioned, too, for that AL West, Oakland.
So that's a tough division to be playing. But you guess what? The American League West is probably saying the same thing about the National League West. All those good teams. Cargo has 3 hits tonight, 2 of the infield variety. He had a double to left center his first time up, and they're going to walk Cargo, so he'll be on 5 times tonight. 2 walks. We're gonna pass on Cargo to face Trevor Story. Good luck with that.
You know what Scott's saying. My only hope is I got a right-on-right matchup.
And that's why.
That's my hope. And Trevor already tonight 4 RBIs.
67 on the season for Story.
And an 8-game hitting streak right now.
On the inside corner, a strike. At the start of the evening, the leader in ribbies in the National League, third baseman for the Reds, Eugenio Suarez, was 69. Jesus Aguilar, 68. Inside, Javi Baez and Nolan tied at 66, and then Trevor Story began the evening at 63. Now he's obviously at 67. Trevor also has now 198 total bases, which would be second in the league behind Ozzie Albies, who has 208. Nolan's at 196.
Ozzie over 200.
And good base running by Cargo there, because
Didn't run
he
up
has
the back.
Right, he has to make sure DJ takes off. DJ thought about it, and it's a wise decision not to go. You do not want to take the bat out of the hands of Story here.
Well, and it's also a shorter throw for Chris Herman to third.
And the ball was
went to
deflected
third.
in that direction. Yeah. Two on, 3-1. Parra's on deck. Pattern is pretty clear. They're trying to bust Story in.
They don't want him to shoot the gap again in right center field. The home run went to center field.
Double right center field. He's 27th of the year. He's among the league leaders in that. Runners moving, 3-2. And the foul tip is held by the catcher, Herman. So we'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies will leave 2 aboard. They need 3 outs to shake hands. They're up 10-7 on Seattle.
Give it to the kid.
He gave it to the kid. He did the right thing. And they're just fielding all over the place at Coors
Look
Field
at that
tonight.
kid. Give it to the dad.
Yes. Oh, hey, you got.
It's Friday the 13th. This is like the equivalent of the Mass.
I know, but it worked. The rally cap worked for a little bit, then you took it off, and then the Mariners scored a bunch of runs in the top of the 7th.
You know what's interesting for tonight has been the 8 2-out RBI. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not. I'm looking at you like normal.
Okay, don't look
Everything's
at me in the eyes.
fine. It's
8
fine.
2-out
Everything's
RBIs,
fine.
it's been fine. This game's fine. It's just a little scary.
There's been 26 hits in this one, too. We should have plenty to talk about, and I think the headgear will stay in the postgame show. Hope you'll join us after this one concludes. In the meantime, back upstairs to Drew and Huey.
Oh, my goodness. Connor was kind of normal before he had to spend all that time with Spilly.
He just wears on you, doesn't he?
I don't, in a good way.
No, I know.
Right?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Wade Davis looking for the save. 40th appearance for Wade. It'll be save number 26 if he can get 3 outs here. Mitch Haniger, he's ahead of 0-1. Haniger, Seager, Span, 3, 4, and 5 for the Mariners. It's fouled off.
One of the guys that worked yesterday was Wade. Inning had a strikeout. Looking efficient yesterday for Wade. 10 pitches just to record those last 3 outs, 7 strikes.
And there is the first out. On 3 pitches, he freezes Haniger.
Lock City here. Big curveball locks up Haniger. That was 1, 2, 3 quick.
Seager 2 for 4. Taylor told you earlier, we mentioned it as well, that John Gray will make the start tomorrow for the Rockies. They're going to face a lefty in Wade LeBlanc. Wade LeBlanc pitched well on Sunday for Seattle against Colorado.
At the W, his 5th one of the year. Now he did give up 3 home runs in that game of the 5 hits. Charlie hit a home run. Cargo hit a home run, and Trevor that opposite field home run.
One, two, that just missed. 2 and 2. And Seager hits it in the air to center. Charlie will mosey over, make the catch. There are 2 outs. The Rockies up 10-7. 2 outs, nobody on. Denard Span had a nice night for Seattle. Single and a 2-run triple. ground. Nolan, hold on, easy.
He still came within an eyelash of catching that.
0-1. Friday night crowd of more than 38,000. Ow. Same thing we just did. Nolan, don't get hurt.
Watch the knee go into the netting. Ow.
Great crowd. They've been entertained. 10 runs, 14 hits for the Rockies. Great fastball. Well located. 0-2.
That's what Wade's gotten back to. Throwing the fastball, commanding the fastball for strikes.
He's been ahead more of late.
A lot more.
Crowd standing, 1 strike away. Here's the 0-2.
So close.
Yeah, usually a few guys in the home dugout yell, "Don't be afraid." The home plate umpire, "Don't be afraid to punch him out." 1-2.
Well, he was punched out on the curveball by Jeff Hoffman in the 3rd inning. Going down and in towards that back left ankle.
He went curveball there. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Big chopper to second. DJ's got it. Ball game over. The Rockies have now won 11 of 14. They improved to 4 games above 500. No triskaidekaphobia for Colorado. They're now 17-7 on Friday the 13th. They spotted the Mariners a couple runs early, not an issue. They win 10-7. Harrison Musgrave with his first big league win. Christian Bergman, the former Rocky, takes the loss, and it's save number 26 for Wade Davis. So a whole lot to talk about again, especially with those Rockies bats. Final score, the Rockies 10 and the Mariners 7. To center field we go. And here's Connor and Spilly. Connor?
Drew, nice job. Wonderful vocabulary, by the way.
Triskaidekaphobia?
Yes.
What does that mean? Fear of foam hats? It's gotta be, right?
Fear of foam dinger hats. Triskaidekaphobia. We'll talk about it. Join us next